Hey everybody, I'm Mainstream Mike, your captain of the gaming mainstream. Just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in. Guys, it's been a while since I last did a review, but it seems that the current producer of Goofing Off decided to drag me out of retirement in order to do one final review. And of course, it's for Kingdom Hearts 3. For those of you who remember, I used to do a top 4 list of games that I wanted to review during the semester, and more than once did Kingdom Hearts 3 make this list. Now that the game has finally come out, only taking them 12 years, how does it play? Is it worth it? And is it good for fans old and new? Well, I will be honest guys, I bought the $80 collection edition because I'm a huge fan of the games, and felt like I owed it to myself to have the best. That said, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't reviewing this game with rose-colored glasses. Still bearing in mind, this game is not perfect, but we'll get to that later. With that said, let's not waste any more time. The long-awaited review of Kingdom Hearts 3. First, there are a few things I had to make sure of before calling this a Kingdom Hearts game. First and foremost, is Sora still the worst whiner ever?
How are we supposed to get there now?
What that you do?
Looks like all the old highways are closed. Didn't Master Yen Sid say that Sora should trust the guidance his heart gives?
Come on, Sora! Which way? Hey! Would you get serious?
Give me a break. I'm trying. These things take time.
Check. Is the dialogue so cheesy it feels like it was written for a 1990s PSA on friendship?
Sometimes you care so much for somebody that other feelings disappear. And then there's no room for fear or doubt.
Is that it?
Double check. And finally, does it have the Disney logo on it? And triple check. Oh yeah, this is definitely a Kingdom Hearts game. So let's start off with the positives. Kingdom Hearts 3 takes full advantage of the Unreal Engine and is absolutely breathtaking to look at, bringing a lot of depth to the color palette of the game, making the worlds and background pop. Second, the music. And it's a Kingdom Hearts game. Do I even have to tell you that the music's fantastic? From idle loading screens to fast-paced combat, this music should end up in your music library ASAP. Next, the combat. Kingdom Hearts games have always maintained a fast-paced, high-energy combat style, mixing in the ability to team up with party members, as well as the ability to mix magic in with your Keyblade strikes in order to do massive damage to your enemies. I am pleased to say, Kingdom Hearts 3 is no different. The combat takes only mere moments when fighting enemies, and then takes the turn to a few minutes when dealing with things like bosses or hordes. Personally, it's satisfying to say the least. Next up, the Gummy Ship makes a triumphant return. Gummy Space is now a wide open area for the player to explore where things like Gummy Ship parts, XP, money, and rare items can be found. It's good to see that Square took its fans' advice with this, otherwise I can only imagine how this would have ended up. From there you travel from world to world performing various missions. I'm very excited to say the worlds are just great. They're vibrant, a little linear, but they do leave room for exploration. I can't tell you how much of a goofy smile I had on my face seeing all these classic characters interact with each other in order to aid one another in their respective worlds. I can't stress enough how great it is seeing these characters again on a modern system like the PS4. You can customize weapons, armor, cook food, that gives you debuffs straight out of Monster Hunter, build your own ship, and so much more. With my childlike joy out of the way, it is time I remove these rose-colored glasses and address the one problem that I personally have with the game. And that's its story. Yes, I know I just got through praising the characters and how good it is to see them all again. However, that doesn't change the fact that if you've only played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, you'll be totally lost for Kingdom Hearts 3. Because it's a culmination of every game from 1 till right now. Which means if you haven't played Birth by Sleep, 358/2, Dream Drop Distance, and Chain of Memories, you're gonna miss out on a lot of the dialogue. For instance, I have a clip that if you can understand it, you will understand most if not all of the rest of the game. With that said, a spoiler warning is in effect.
His empty body stayed in the present, took the name Xemnas, and founded Organization 13. Their goal was to prepare 13 vessels for Xehanort's heart.
until we put an end to the organization. But all the while, young Xehanort had been visiting the future to choose 13 vessels of his own, hearts with strong enough ties to him to begin a new organization, the real Organization 13.
You see what I'm saying? You'd think that with a series that has had 12 years and multiple games to get one story, albeit a massive story, together, you'd think they would have been able to put it together, but it's kind of all over the place. And because of this, the game suffers for it. And the people who were casual fans of the first two games suffer for it as well. This game is definitely not for all gamers, especially if you've been introduced to these characters and stories till now. Which is hard for me to say because they have remade both 1 and 2 on multiple occasions. Keeping all this in mind, I give Kingdom Hearts 3 a solid 7 out of 10. By no means could it live up to the hype for over 10 years of development. Both the game and the story suffer for having too much story, but nevertheless, the combat, the music, and the characters all come together for one final conclusion. It's good to see that my childhood franchise ends with so much thought and heart put into it. Guys, it has been great giving one last review. With that said, I'm Mainstream Mike saying, see you later, guys.